This humble shinobi stands before you ready to administer the finishing blow to substandard media. Before passing final judgment on TV and movies, I will give you the highs, the lows, and the downright irredeemable. My latest contract has me asking Hollywood, what the fuck, man? How do you trip over your own dick at the finishing line? It is. The basic plot hits like this. A group of kids try to get off the desolate planet governed by harsh working conditions above and below ground. Leaving is a struggle because you need to log thousands of hours of contract time to gain travel off of the planet. Rain, a young worker played by Kaylee Spaney, thinks she has sufficient hours for her and Andy, a synthetic humanoid she thinks of as a brother. However, new rules have doubled the amount of time needed to qualify due to labor shortages. Before having to report to her next detail in the mines, she is approached by a compatriot with a plan to get off of this shithole. It will call for daring and the exploitation of her synthetic Andy. She joins the rest of the cast in a scheme to travel to the abandoned space station above that has been pulled into the planet's orbit. If the group is lucky, they will use Andy's clearance as a company synthetic to bypass the security of Weyland-Yutani station, scavenge the cryopods in it, and enough fuel for the team to take a nice little 9-year snooze during their travel to the next inhabited planet. Kaylee's portrayal of Rain Carradine is top-notch. You might know her from A24's Civil War from 2024. I highly recommend seeing Civil War if you've never seen this actress. She shines alongside Kirsten Dunst and has an unbelievable range that will have you falling in love with her as soon as she steps onto the screen. Romulus doesn't ask as much from her as the former, but she delivers no less and kills the role, making you feel her fear and despair. She also gets the bonus point for being a strong female character who's not a bitch or a know-it-all. So, we're moving in the right direction. David Johnson plays the artificial humanoid Andy. Not only does my man get his money showing off his chops as the often warm-hearted Andy, a friendly to all synthetic, but he also gets to play the cold-blooded corporate drone driven by the directive to do whatever is best for the company. The rest of the cast is an assortment of serviceable actors who do a great job of selling terror. I wasn't disappointed by any of their performances. There's no weak links, no eye-roll inducing behavior or shit-for-brains decisions to be found. Well, not until the third act anyway. If you've never heard of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation because this is your first foray into the Alien franchise, just think of the Umbrella Corporation from Resident Evil and swap out the zombies for xenomorphs. After that, everything is the same. Where you see death and disaster, they see innovation and profit. And there's no body count high enough to keep them from that sweet, sweet cheddar. And by cheddar, I mean I have no idea what their currency is. I've never seen anyone pay for anything in this entire series. It's like no one carries a wallet in space. Eventually, all hell breaks loose, and those pesky facehuggers defrost from cold storage and enter the fray, which they created. In the first and second act, action is abundant and characters act as you would expect in this deadly predicament. A chaotic environment against an unrelenting foe wreaks havoc on the nerves as the Xenos pick off the surprisingly likable cast one by one. Each has his or her own biases and motivations that drive their actions, from one's prejudice towards the synthetic life form to another's secret pregnancy. I wonder which one of them has a bun in the oven. If you assumed it could only be one of the chicks, you're a bigot. It's the future, for crying out loud. Hasn't Hollywood taught you anything? As danger befell the crew, I had no idea which member might make it off the station and which ones were Xeno kibble. The aliens were as menacing as ever, and the buckets of drool they slather across the screen will make your skin crawl. Since the story takes place less than a decade after the Nostromo's encounter from the original, the environments look like they are plucked directly from the 70s imagery of the future tech. No LCD screens here. It's all grunge and CRT monitors with fewer colors than an NES. Tight direction from Fede Alvarez, who's also one of the writers, keeps the pace frantic and chilling with little downtime. That could be for better or worse, since there is also little time for the deaths to hit the crew or the audience with any weight. They felt like targets waiting to get knocked off. It turns out both the space station and the loss of each cast member have issues with gravity. Speaking of speed, I'd like to make mention of the expedited gestation and incubation periods of the xenomorphs' life cycles. I thought it was fast in Aliens vs. Predator. Alvarez says hold my beer to that shit. Whatever happened to the good old days when a man could have his throat violated by a facehugger after breakfast and not have to worry about his sternum getting turned into a zipper until after dinner? Nowadays, the xenomorphs might as well skip the middleman and kickflip right out of the facehugger's egg sac yelling, "Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room?" Wu-Tang forever. Sometimes the movie feels as though Fede Alvarez directed the first 2 acts and then handed it off to his slower, less effective cousin to finish it up. You take it from here, champ. I have faith in you.
You can count on me. I can do it.
Where in the beginning of Romulus ascends to heights not seen since Cameron's edition, odd narrative choices in the middle and the end felt redundant and biting from the previous installments. The whole time I was like, I'm watching The Force Awakens of the Alien franchise. I don't want to spoil the 3rd act, but I feel like I have to mention something in 3, 2, 1. Female crewmate K injects herself with a sci-fi mumbo-jumbo cocktail of murky goo distilled from the xenomorphs, of which she has no idea the ramifications. This decision comes out of the blue because she wasn't around for the exposition dump before its delivery. Who injects black ink into their neck after being told the substance comes from the very thing that's trying to kill them? It just went downhill from that point. I'm not pooping on the end of the movie just because I'm a contrarian. I'm truly baffled by everything that happened in the climax. The movie was entertaining enough, but I saw many people at the end getting up with that bewildered look on their face, just like I had. And this was before the movie dropped the, wait for it, human-alien hybrid. Damn it, Fede, we did this already. It doesn't work. Alien Romulus will be fun for horror movie enthusiasts, but it will be paint by numbers for lovers of the franchise who hope for a renewal. As for yours truly, I score the movie at a 6 out of 10, which forces me to execute the contract. Alien Romulus gets the finishing blow. As always, I'd like to thank my supporters for watching to the end. And as for the next time you need your entertainment news or movie reviews, look to the shadows and... Beckett!